I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Oh, there must be a God somewhere. Good
Thank you so
morning.
much. Hi, Dr. Kim. Thank you so much for being with us here today in the Daily Antidote of Song. We are in the middle of another Justice and Peace Week here, beginning on a Monday. Everybody, happy Monday. Let's all start by taking a deep breath.
Ah, woo.
Yeah, Mondays are good days for starting something new. So hope everybody has woken up this morning with a sense of change on their mind. We're gonna make it work here on this messy, crazy globe. So I would like to welcome everybody here in this room. I see folks coming in from I see Canada. I see lots of different US states. I see UK. Great to have all of you guys here today. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm going to say hello also to all the good folks out there on Facebook and on live stream. In case you're new to us today, we are the Daily Antidote of Song. One sing along song every day at noon Eastern. Today is our 2178th consecutive day of singing. We just keep ticking here, and we're really glad you found us. Um, I'm happy to say that we are singing today with Dr. Kim Harris, and we'll be rescheduling our dearest friend Leah for another day, hopefully next week. And also a big heads up that we are really getting close to our April 5th, last day of our 6th year of singing, and then April 6th, first day of our 7th year of singing. So I hope lots of you will join us for all of that excitement too. Yeah, that number keeps going up. Yeah, does everybody remember when it was only like our first birthday? Like,
Woo.
right, that's crazy. Dr. Kim is, of course, bringing us exactly the right song for the moment. So I'm going to turn it to you, Dr. Kim. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to singing with you.
Thank you. I am so glad to be with you this morning. And I have to tell you, my students are too, because every time I sing with the Daily Antidote of Song and then go off to teach class, well, I'm just in a great mood and the grades get a little more gentle. I don't know. Now, who I'm thinking about, because it's still March, we're still in Women's History Month. Bernice Johnson Reagon, Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon. Love her. Absolutely. And I'm so thrilled that Reggie and I actually had a chance to record with her on our CD about our second CD about the Underground Railroad on Get On Board. So it was just so amazing. But the song that came to me today, well, I started off singing one of the traditional versions of this historic Negro spiritual. It says, over my head, I see trouble in the air. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I hear music. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. there must be a God somewhere. I hear singing over my head. I hear singing in the air over my head. I hear singing in the air over my head. I hear singing in the air. There must be a God somewhere. There must be a God somewhere. Oh. And one of the amazing things about this song is that, well, there's a great story. I believe this happened in 1961 in Albany, Georgia. And Bernice Johnson, she wasn't Bernice Johnson Reagon yet, but she and some of her friends, well, they said if the civil rights movement wasn't going to come to them, they were going to have to make it right where they were. And so what they did is that they started off in her father's church, yes, and her church too, yes, and they started marching down to the bus station, the train station that was still segregated. And they said, we are going to march down, we're going to march for freedom. And they said they could see that there were people, they were hoping that other members of the black community there would join in. They could see a lot of people had their windows shuttered, or they were sort of peeking out, because they knew it could be dangerous to do that. And so they said, but we're going to go. And so she and some other young people, they started marching. Yes, they started marching. And as they marched, and I'm sure they were also singing, they marched, and there's this great story that she would tell. She says that as they went down, they were going to just go down, march down to the station, and then circle around it and come on back to the church. Well, as they started marching, some people started feeling empowered, seeing them march, and they not only opened up their windows, but some people began to join them. Yes, they began to join them. And at one point, one of her friends said, Bernice, turn around. And Bernice, she was scared because she figured they were going to turn around and there would be some police back behind them. I said, Bernice, turn around. And they were getting nervous, but the third time they said, Bernice, turn around. And she turned around, yes. And she saw, yes, way in the back, there were some police that were following them, but guess what? There were also some other people from the community that had come out to walk down to the station with those young people. Absolutely. So they kept on marching. They got down to the station, they circled around it, and then they marched on back to the church. Yes. And when they got back to the church, well, she marched up to the front. Now, she was used to being up there in the front because, she was a song leader in the church. Other people filled in the pews, and the police came into the church. Now, don't think that the police were thinking this is, holy ground, we're not coming in. They came on back and they were standing along the back. So she knew she was going to raise a song. And she was going to sing, over my head, I see trouble in the air. But the way she tells the story, she says, I was going to sing, I see trouble in the air. But she said, I didn't need to tell the people there was trouble. They knew there was trouble. She said, I'm not going to say that. And she says, in one of those rare times when we know exactly when a song changed, she said she could feel the power of the ancestors, feel like that power and that inspiration, that spirit was coming up through her feet. And her mind clicked very quickly and she sang, over my head, I see freedom in the air. Over my head, I see freedom in the air. Over my head, I see freedom in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I see justice. Over my head, I see justice in the air. Over my head, I see justice in the air. Over my head, I see justice in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Oh, there must be a God somewhere. Now, she wasn't going to leave out that music verse. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Oh, there must be a God somewhere. Now, you know what? There's a reason why, in particular, Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon came to mind, and I'll tell you why. I know, JoJo, you're like, she's always got something going on. Well, 4 days ago, there was this post from the Smithsonian. Yes, indeed. 4 days ago, and this is what the post says. Singer, songwriter, and scholar Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon spent her lifetime using the power of music to fight for freedom and justice. Our Smithsonian Gardens and Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture teamed up to name an orchid species selection in her honor. Now, I know I'm not going to say this correctly, but you can see the post either from the Smithsonian or you can even see it on my Facebook page. Something like Phalaenopsis bellina. Like I said, I'm sure I didn't say it correctly, but it's incredible. Now, here's what it says, going on to talk about her. To raise funds for the civil rights movement in the 1960s, Reagon traveled across the country as a founding member of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC Freedom Singers. In addition to recording several solo albums, she founded the Grammy-nominated all-black women's a cappella group, Sweet Honey and the Rock. Now, yes, did I see that Sweet Honey's going to be on the Daily Antidote later this week? Yes,
Later
indeed.
this week. Yeah.
It is so cool that they named this orchid after her. I thought that was so exciting. And like
That
I
is
said,
amazing.
isn't that great? And
Yeah.
You can, yeah, so you can see like the official name for it and everything on the Smithsonian Facebook page or my Facebook page, and I'm sure other uh, other places. And they posted a beautiful picture of her, and they said the Smithsonian just named this orchid species selection after Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon, who used the power of music to fight for freedom and justice. Oh, I
Beautiful.
love that. So,
Beautiful. Dr. Kim, thank you so much. Can everybody please thank Dr. Kim? This has been so tremendous of a day. And like, I love the emphasis or the thinking about Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon today. It is amazing also that, of course, we are singing with some of the Sweet Honeys this week. But I also want to say, like, for me, it's a really amazing contrast, the naming of the orchid, with the fact that I read in the news that somewhere on the White House grounds, they just put a statue of Christopher Columbus up. Right. So the idea that there are ways in which there is contrast between what is breaking down and what is building up. And we need to kind of continue to remember on the days we feel that grim moment that there is all of this work that people have done in the world that is still carrying us today. And I am so grateful, Dr. Kim, for you being here in this room and talking to us about all of this. I know that you have academic duties today. Is there anything else you want to say before we
yes,
sing with you
there
once more?
is. I'm going to give you just a tiny little bit about the way that the Freedom Singers eventually sang sort of an updated gospel-y version of this same song. So just a tiny little bit before I head off to Loyola Marymount University this morning. Now, I've got my tambourine. Hopefully it's not too loud. I don't think it's too loud. And, you know, when the Freedom Singers did it, they also did the song this way. Up over my head, I see freedom in the air. Up over my head, I see freedom in the air. Up over my head, I see freedom in the air. Well, I really do believe, yes, I really do believe there's a God somewhere. I see justice up over my head. I see justice in the air. Up over my head, I see justice in the air. Up over my head, I see justice in the air. Oh, I really do believe, yes, I really do believe there's a God somewhere. Oh, I really do believe, yes, I really do believe there's a God somewhere. Oh, I really do believe, yes, I really do believe there's a God somewhere. Thanks, everybody. All righty.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kim. All right, let's all give a big thank you to Dr. Kim. Wave her out of the room.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
Bye. Loved having you with us today. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. It is always such a delight to have Dr. Kim in the room. And I bet all of us in here could keep singing and talking about Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon for quite some time. Let's give it up for folks like Kim Harris, doing the same work as Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon out there in the world, which is using music as a point of departure for all things activism, all things social justice, and we're so grateful. I'm going to take a quick moment here just to let everybody know what is coming up this week here in the Daily Antidote of Song. So we'll be rescheduling Leah. We'll hopefully see her as soon as next week. And we want to thank Dr. Kim Harris for singing with us today. Tomorrow we are singing with Stuart Stotts coming in out of Wisconsin. We're going to be singing Irish songs with Amelia Hogan on Wednesday. She's coming in out of California. We've had her in here once before. She's great. And we're still sort of winding down a little of Irish Heritage Month. And on the 26th, we're going to sing with Una McCann, coming in from Ireland, also on the topic of Irish heritage. Zoe Mulford coming in out of the UK on Friday. And on Saturday, we're singing with some of the Sweet Honeys and their friend Eli Yamin, who is new to us here in the Daily. And it is also No King's Day. And we are also going to be premiering a song that they wrote for the Great Synchronization that we took part in this past Saturday. And so we're going to be chanting and singing words like unity, love, justice, peace, respect. and I hope you can all join us that day. I think it's going to be a really special day. And of course, Carol and Louise were the originals in Sweet Honey with Bernice Johnson Reagon. So there's a lot of deep history there. And then on Sunday, we're going to close the week out with a group called To the Garden, coming in from Brighton, UK, and they are also new to us in the room. I want to thank everybody again for being with us. Can we please give it up for Dr. Kim Harris one more time? For all of our fabulous song leaders who take part in this program. As we're coming towards our 6th birthday, it is really amazing to be looking at the depth and the breadth of the humans that we have sung with in this room. And a big shout out to the biggest majority of them that are really using their music as activism, and especially right now. So I want to thank everybody out there on the live stream for joining us today. Thank you so much for being with us. We're really glad you're here. I also want to shout out all the new folks in this room today. I think that Lisa is new to us. I think Paul is new to us. I think Isolda is new to us. I think that maybe another Susan in the room is new to us, and maybe a Paula is new to us. Welcome to all of you. If you can, stay after, and we'd love to talk to you after everybody drops today. Another big wave to the folks out there on the live stream. Thanks again, gang. We can't wait to see you.